What's going on? Today I'm going to show you how to use Claude Code over here on the right to manage and set up Google Ads and optimize them as well. So before we jump in, we got to get an MC. We got to get a couple of prerequisites first. First, we need a Google Ads API key. We need to set up our file structure, and then we need to set up our directives. So to get an Google Ads token, you're going to have a MCC account. So this is my MCC account. You can tell by it up here. This is the account that we are going to be doing the work on. So nonetheless, you're going to come to Admin, API Center. Now, right beneath my face is the token. You're going to see it right here called Developer Token. Now, if you are a marketing agency that manage a lot of clients, you're going to want to upgrade your access level to basic. You're going to do that right beneath my face here, like this. I have basic access. For you, you're going to want to click on this, which in your case, it's going to look like standard. Go ahead and click this tab. Then what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the application together. So first off, we can answer all the basic ones. Put in your MCC number. That is the 10-digit number at the top of your account. Do you have an ongoing relationship? URL. We'll come back to these two in 2 seconds. Make sure you check internal use. If you check external use, the chances of you getting accepted go up, go down, and it's a lot more difficult. This is for optimizing the campaigns under your guys' account, and this is what I recommend. Do you plan to use the tool API token with a tool developed by somebody else? No. Which campaigns do you support? Typically, I just copy these right here, plop them in. In this case, we're going to do all of these. Besides account management, acknowledge, boom. So for your company description, what I recommend doing is coming back to Claude, putting in a short description of what you're doing. Mine is right here. So we use the Google Ads API to pull reporting data from clients' accounts already linked to our MCC. The tool is strictly internal and used by only the owner of Amplify AI. It's not sold, it's not white labeled or exposed to any client or third party. Clients receive their performance data as a PDF report, email summary generated tool. They do not access the tool API directly. The tool is used to create, modify, pause, and serve ads. Simple. Then what you're going to want to do is create one of these documents. This is a sample design documentation. What I did is added this in here, my prompt, and then it put together for me a design doc, which is going to go right here. The design doc essentially just walks through what's the tool, how does it work, what's it going to do, with I guess some mock-ups of the tool. In this case, we're not really going to use the mock-ups, but it increases our chances of getting accepted. So go ahead and throw that in there. Once you use this prompt, which will also be linked down below, you'll get this set up, the sheet. You're going to go ahead, download that here, boom, just like that, and then you'll hit submit. Wait a couple days. Okay. So now what? We got our token on the way. Now we need to set up our client. This is what the agent is going to use to communicate with your Google Ads. So you're going to want to go to Google Cloud Console. Jump in here. Now, if you do not already have a project, I highly recommend you create a project and just call it agent work, right? So just new project, AI agents. This is where I set up all my agents in one spot. If I ever need to kill them all, I can kill it, all right? You go ahead and hit create. Then what you're gonna wanna do is come up here to Google Ads API. This is the one you're gonna want, and you're gonna want to enable it. Okay. Now that it's enabled, we need to get a client secret and a client ID. So you'll come to APIs and services, credentials. What you'll do here is you'll go create a credential, OAuth ID. You're going to name this desktop app, and then AI agents in this case. Go ahead and hit create. Take these two pieces of information, your client ID and your client secret, and save them. Save them to your notes for a second. Just put them in some place that you don't forget them. Okay? Also, you can download the JSON. Now, in this case, I'm not going to use this because my API keys are now on the internet. So I'm going to delete that. Okay? Delete. Cool. Now that that's done, you have your MCC token, client ID, your client secret. Boom. We've got what we need. Now what we're going to do is we need to create our folder where we will be working in. This is where we set Claude Code up in. So come to your Finder. Now for me, what I do is I just have a folder like this. Right? This has my business. In here I've created a folder called Engine. Come in here. Now, first off, what we are going to need to create is two folders. We're going to call this one Directives, Executions. Okay, so directives are what to do. Executions are the actual Python scripts that will interact with the Google Ads API in this case. So, set that up for now. And then, now the fun part starts. Now we get to use Claude Code. So, now what we're going to do is come over here to Claude Code on your Claude desktop. And we are going to have it set up our env file inside of Engine 2. So I like to start with a simple speech to text. If you do not have WhisperFlow installed, you're missing out. Make sure you get WhisperFlow installed. What's up, Claude? So what I need you to do is I need you to go into the Engine 2 file, and I need you to create me a text document inside of the main folder called .env and open it up on my desktop in a text edit file so I can paste in my API keys. And you're just going to paste them in here. So we'll do Google Client. I like to do this one. Client refresh token. Go ahead and leave that blank for now. Cool. Paste those in. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you have everything you need. You have everything you need to begin. So, now comes the fun part. The file. Launch the task. So, I turn on my super whisper and I give my instructions. Okay, please navigate to the engine file. We are going to be building a campaign for an AI automation company that is actually a handyman business, believe it or not. So we're going to be building a Google Ads campaign for a handyman business under the Google account beginning with 404. I need you to perform keyword research for drywall repair, painting, and other general handyman tasks and put together a Google campaign. So once we've got all of our directives and executions built, we can then start to give it more commands like I just did. In the beginning, as you start to build out your directives and execution folders, you're going to want to be more specific. But the more experience you build up in your database, the more we can kind of just shoot in a direction and refine as we go. There is no existing client folder. This is for a YouTube demonstration, so no need to worry. Customer ID is in the beginning. Business name, we're going to call it Nico's Handyman Services. The service business would be Denver Metro with 25-mile radius from Denver. The website is Don't worry about the website. Phone number for call extension would be 720-819-5281, and the budget target is $2,500 per month. Yes, let's do drywall, interior painting, fixture install, TV mounting, and deck repair. Keep it kind of tight where the keyword demand is. Everything looks good. Yes, please start beginning. You can set up this one in a temp folder since this is for a demonstration. Okay, so we fire that off. All of my clients have their own client folders where their business context lives. Okay. In this case, we'll just set up a temp file. So it's going to go set that up, start laying the groundwork. Every customer of mine has what's called a demand profile. A demand profile, as you're going to see here in a second, is all of the keywords, or not necessarily the keywords, but the targets we want to hit, along with more context on the business that we then use to build the campaign around. Like, what demand are we trying to capture with Google lives within that demand profile. So think service lines, area, radius from that central area, all fit into demand profile. Now, demand profile as part of this, my system, is built out as we go. So any new campaign that gets built, it runs it itself. So in this case, we're looking at other demand profiles, as we can see down here. Once that's done and we fire off the keyword research, I will come back and let you know how it's coming. This is a perfect opportunity to go grab a coffee and maybe check the email while the agent runs. Okay, now our campaign is built. It has been, I'd say 10 minutes. So we've got branded, core services, interior painting, deck repair. These will create a campaign here. So do we want to execute this and pipe it through? Yes, please. Now it's going to actually execute, build the campaign, and we should see it here in our user interface shortly. There we go. Now our campaigns are populating here into Google Ads. All right, we've got our different keywords. All of our keywords are in here, just like that. Landing page, max cost per click, everything. So like just like that, we built. All right, there's all of our campaigns. Locked and loaded, ready to roll. All we got to do is hit go. We're off to the races. So just like that, if you want to learn more, you can grab all the documentation on how to get this set up below. If you want to learn, if you need help setting this up for yourself, go ahead, shoot me an email.